What I want people to know is my mental illness does not define who I am. I started going manic after I got back on my medication. It was too late. I spent 9 days in jail and 3 more in a mental hospital. I destroyed my house. My girlfriend called all weekend to get me into a mental hospital. But it was a weekend and they wouldn't admit me. So they told me to get exercise, take a hot shower, listen to music, or read a soothing book. Over that weekend, I traumatized my girlfriend, destroying my apartment, breaking everything in sight, breaking out windows. In the end, she hid in the bathroom and locked the door, calling 911. The police came, handcuffed me, and an ambulance came and took me to the hospital. No one was trained to deal with a mentally ill patient in a crisis situation, as I was. I had extreme paranoia and severe delusions. I thought everybody was out to get me, including the hospital staff, who I thought were going to murder me. I fled from the hospital, pushing past the police and nurses. I was greeted by 20-degree temperatures with no jacket, no phone, no keys, no wallet, no way to get home. But the worst part was I didn't know where I was. I was disoriented, I was confused, and I was freezing cold. So I did the only thing I could think of, and that was to go back into the hospital. But I was greeted by police accusing me of trespassing. They gave me the ultimatum to leave or to go to jail. There was no way I was going back out in the cold. I told them to take me to jail. But when they tried to handcuff me, I pulled away, thinking that they were in the plot to kill me. I was fighting for my life, resisting every way possible. I was beat down to the ground. I tucked my arms underneath me and went rigid. I got to my feet and was tasered. The taser didn't stop me, I was fighting for my life. They kneed me in the torso and tasered me again. It took 3 police officers to get me to the squad car. When I got to the squad car, I resisted in every way I could. They tasered me again and threw me in the police car. On the way to the county jail, I knew I was on my way to be murdered, and there was nothing I could do about it. I was locked in a cell. Not only did I think that the cell that I was in was underneath the Texas Tech basketball stadium, I thought the next room over was a church sanctuary where service was going on. I was in a bizarre dream, but I couldn't wake up. I thought the key to my freedom was in the bottom of the toilet. So I stuck my hand in the water, looking for a key that wasn't there. The next morning I was brought to general population, given a single cell. I yelled and cursed at other inmates and guards. I provoked them any way that I could. While I was in that cell, I soaked toilet paper rolls and threw them at the bars, splashing the prison guards and other inmates. Next, I was taken to an isolation cell, and in return they gave me a Velcro vest. There was no bed, no chair, no toilet. I spent 8 days in isolation. Cold. I slept on the concrete floor and shivered all night long. For 8 days. At one point I thought I was imprisoned in the middle of the earth for the rest of my life. I truly believed that I would spend the rest of my life in this place, and that I would never see anybody I cared about again. Another delusion I had is I thought that I was in the bottom of a naval ship. I don't know how I got there, why they were detaining me. All I knew is that I was never getting out. At one point I couldn't find my heartbeat, and I thought I had died in my sleep. I thought I was dead, but I was still here in physical form. And I believed it down to the bottom of my heart. I never thought I'd be able to connect with my loved ones again. I mourned my own death, literally. Until the medication worked, nothing could help me. As the medication took hold, I started to be less aggressive, less provoking. I started to behave like a normal person again. At this point, I was taken to a hospital. I spent the next few days trying to piece back together what had happened and what that meant to me. It's been 4 years since I've had a manic episode. It's hard to relate what I went through. What I thought, how I behaved is so uncharacteristic of me that it's like it happened to somebody else and I was just watching. People that know me now would never believe that I was capable of acting in such a way. What I fear the most is not having another manic episode. What I fear the most is going to jail instead of a mental hospital.